This is my GFX100 II, and this is my build for video production. Welcome, my name is Joshua. I'm a filmmaker and working professional. Now, if this is your first time ever seeing any videos from my channel, I've made plenty of other videos about the GFX100 II when it comes to video productions and stuff. There's actually more videos coming along. I have 2 more mini docs I'm filming with this camera. So feel free to stick around and also watch the other previous videos that I made. The playlist is in the description below. And I would appreciate if you like and comment and share this video. This is purely just going to be a rig build video. So let's just get into it. Sorry, I just want to jump in here and clarify a few things. And I want to address the massive elephant in this room. Yes, all the gear I'm going to be showing in this video is very expensive. Some of you might already start to crunch the numbers of the total price of everything I'm going to show. And I get it. There is no way, shape, or form that I'm telling you that you need to buy obviously everything in this video. That just doesn't make any sense. But I do hope that you find some sort of value in this, some inspiration for the rigs that you're building, because these are just tools. These aren't making you a better filmmaker. Most of this gear has been given to me through brand deals over the past few years. Now, don't get it twisted. This doesn't mean I have to talk about this stuff, but these are the tools that I've reaped the benefit of over the last few years because my channel has been growing. And that's one thing I feel like people tend to miss out. I've clearly worked for where I am now. You know, the current sub count that I have, I'm really grateful for it. And brands do see this. So then that's some of the benefits that hard work, time, and resources kind of pay off, because that's what I had to sacrifice to get to this point. Yeah, so just don't put any unnecessary pressure on yourself thinking that you need to have this stuff in here. If you see something that might be helpful to you, great, go for it. But I don't want to ever put anybody in a situation where they feel like they're pressured. But yeah, I hope this inspires you. So I'm actually going to start with the lens mount. And the GFX is a G mount. This is a massive mount for massive medium format lenses. I primarily use PL lenses. So you've seen on my channel, the ROs, my Zeiss Yenas, you know, the Nisi Athenas, Anamorphics, any and all PL mounts, because it's universal. And so I used to use the Harfamese PL to G mount. That was the cheapest one I can find, and it did its job. I still have it, but the issue I had with it is that the foot that it comes with, which is like the foot that goes to the bottom here, it was too long. And once we talk about the cage, you'll see why this is important. So since it was too long, I looked for another one. This is the Viltrox PL to G mount. I haven't shimmed it, but it seems fine already. But I probably most likely need to shim it. But it just has a much shorter foot, just like the Manfrotto options that are out there. But it's only about $20 more than the Harfamese one. Here's my GFX. It might look different for a lot of you all because it doesn't have the EVF, but it is the workhorse. I will be talking about this lens very soon. I'm making a video between Samara C and my Carl Zeiss Yena 35, so stick around for that. Look how big this sensor is. Okay, so let's talk about today's sponsor, Audiio. Audiio has brought in a couple new AI features to the platform, as well as an app. We'll get to that a little bit later. But Hans AI is pretty much the newest one, which is a great way to find music more organically rather than scrolling hours, which you still can. I still do that from time to time. But Hans AI kind of cuts that out to get more to the emotional side of what you want to get to. So essentially, you just type in some prompts that you want to look for in a song. This is actually very useful because now it becomes more of a creative process versus just one of those stale processes when going through a platform and searching for, you know, all throughout the genres and all that stuff. This really does help you become more in a creative mindset and stay there as you're typing out these different prompts. You can even dial in your search even more by adding more specific prompts to have your search more accurate for the field that you want. And 2, there's an app now, which is way better to have on the go. I just tend to listen to a lot of music as I'm driving, walking, whatever. Now I can just go to my playlist and think about that song as I'm creating that video away from my computer. So I'm glad there's an app now. So if you're new to Audiio, make sure to click on the link in the description below. You can get 70% off your first year of Audiio Pro, making it just $59 to get unlimited music and sound effects and everything else that comes with it. Just use Cine 70 at checkout and you'll be good to go. Okay, so this is the mid 49 cage. It's quite unique. It has this kind of open concept. It's not what you normally see with cameras where you have it on the body pretty tight. This open concept allows me to mount so many different things without having issues with space. And so that's one of the reasons why I chose it. Now, like I was saying earlier about the foot being important for the PL mount, it's the perfect clearance for that. The reason why, whenever you put heavier lenses on this cage with this camera, there's a lot of flex and you don't want that. And this is not the strongest mount. since it's so huge, this is not even metal. I think it's like just a really hard plastic. So you want to lock this in. So you have these, no, Butterfingers. So you have these guys to lock into the bottom here. So there you have it. It is locked in. I've screwed in the mount directly to the cage here, so that gives me a third point of contact. So you have 1/4 at the bottom of the camera, then you have the lens mount itself. There's also like a little pin that goes into the camera as well, so it won't twist or anything like that. And this is good because I'm going to have larger lenses on this camera quite soon, and so you want to have that support at least from the base itself, and then have whatever lens support too. When you first get it, this will just be as is. It won't have this L bracket here that gives this cage way more stability and rigidity. So all this together kind of gives you this a shadow of a cube, which is kind of nice. That way I can build however I need to. The bottom is also mid 49, and everything's kind of nice because it is Arca Swiss, Arca plate. However, I always forget how to call that thing, but you can take that off very easily. This has now the base plate. This is a dovetail. This is the 15 mil rods. I have a 19 mil rod as well if I want to get more height, but this is an Arca dovetail plate here. That's the wrong thing too. This is an Arca plate here, and then I can just pop this back on, slide it or whatever. Just a quick release plate here, engage it, and then lock it in. I almost forgot to mention how often I use the DJI LiDAR system, the Focus Pro system. And this has been such a valuable piece of gear out of everything, because I've been doing a lot of mixed of, solo DP work, and then of course I'll have an AC here and there. But when it's just me, and I know I want to hit critical focus, or we're going to be at a certain T-stop, once I dial in my lens to the LiDAR, it helps tremendously. And being able to kind of switch back and forth from manual to autofocus or tracking subjects, it makes a world of a difference. But it is key to get it dialed in, so you have to do those measurements so you know that you'll be in focus. And it saved so many shots, especially on this last mini doc we shot. We were using the Atlas Mercuries, and I knew for sure I need something that can assist me when it comes to focusing. So I normally rig up my LiDAR in various ways. This particular way, I use my lens cuff, the most controversial piece of gear that I own. But I used the lens cuff, and it came in handy for both lenses, and it was just really simple to do that. And oftentimes, if I have a bigger rig, I'll put it mounted near the front. I do need to get that cage from Condor Blue. That is actually going to be quite helpful. So I can have some options where I can rig this LiDAR. But yeah, I had to definitely mention that because it's such a valuable asset to my kit. For power, I'm going to use a dummy battery out of the camera into a V-mount. And specifically for this trip, the V-mount of choice is just going to be the SmallRig batteries. I liked all the features that they have. So, you pop this on here like that. Looks weird, but normally I like to have it laid down because I don't use that back monitor for much. I have my top monitor, which we'll get to a little bit later. This is the mid 49 top handle. This is the rainbow handle. Really like this handle. It does extend out to longer lengths for bigger rigs. Again, this is Arca, so you put that on the top there. So now you have that top square handle like so. And then the other piece I just bought was the side plate for, this actually goes for the Canon C80 and the Burano. Mid 49 makes all these parts. They all kind of talk together to some extent. This is perfect for adding more mounting points. There's actually mounting points here on the side too. I'm not running any wireless transmission, but you get the point. You can add as many things you need to with this plate. What I'm actually doing for this plate, you can see there's another Arca Swiss plate here. This is actually a slimmed down version for my vertical rig, because we're going to be doing vertical anamorphic for these mini docs I'm filming. I made a video about this already. You can watch that here. But essentially, this slims down my previous rig. What was going on is that I had the wooden camera L bracket. It's built really well, but the rig itself was just too large, and I didn't want to travel with it. This allows me to slim down a ton and then flip it on the side here. Yes, this blocks the media door plate, but I don't need to be switching media out constantly. But once you take that off, let's just flip this up. And so I just rotate 90 degrees. So here's normal, and then I just rotate 90 degrees, pop this on here like so. And I take my camera, and then it comes with these pegs, which allows you to slide it in. And then, now it's vertical. Look at that. Now the weird part is that this doesn't have an Arca attachment, so I can use the top handle here. That's what we're kind of working with for this little rig. For vertical rig, that is. Again, if you want to learn more about what I mean by vertical anamorphic, please feel free to watch that video. It kind of explains it. I have older videos about doing that process too, but I really enjoy vertical anamorphic with a large sensor like this. In terms of media of choice, I have my Angelbird 2 terabyte cards. These are newer versions, the 4.0 versions. Really fast, reliable. Yeah, really solid. The monitor of choice, I will be rocking my Behemoth 7-inch Ultra. The reason why I want this guy, I need to see as much detail as I can. I'm using anamorphic, so it's going to either sit like this or it's going to sit vertically like that, which isn't always ideal because it does weigh quite a bit. I do have my Ultra 5, so I'll make a decision, game time decision, once I build this out. SmallHD communicates with Fujifilm cameras, so you can have EL zones. It's a much more effective way to set your exposure, much more effective way to communicate exposure to your crew if you need to, lighting, gaff, and all that stuff. I know SmallHD can be expensive, but you get what you pay for. Big, bright, all the features, and it's rugged, so I would recommend. All right, so that wraps it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Very simple one, but stick around. This will be more behind the scenes of the whole projects that we kind of worked on for the last 2 months with the GFX. So if you're curious, stick around, make sure to subscribe, and I catch you guys on the next one. See ya.